This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
Brought to you by Lee Health. Southwest Florida. You are looking live at Dan Miller, Lew Del Gatto Quartet. Why do I want to waste time hosting a television show when I can be grooving to some straight ahead jazz? You're going to find out how you can go out and hear this band live. We're going to get some music in the studio this Sunday morning. Also, we'll have Girl Talk with Tashika Perry. Remember these names: Dan, Lou, and Brandon. They're right here. Get on the phone, text somebody, email somebody, Facebook somebody. Do something to somebody and tell them a real live jazz band is on Lee Pitts Live right now. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Southwest Florida. Yes, they are here. The Dan Miller, Lew Del Gatto Quartet, right here on Lee Pitts Live. Let's get a chance to meet this fabulous band and find out how you can go out and hear some real music. You're only going to get this on Lee Pitts Live on Fox 4, folks. I always wanted to do that like Lawrence Welk. See, I'm controlling the band. I encourage you guys to have a seat. Let's have a seat right quick. I know you with that upright bass. Get a chance to meet you guys. Take a little load off there. Okay, folk in Southwest Florida, I know you're used to seeing all types of bands on Lee Pitts Live, but you don't get to get that straight ahead jazz unless you're watching right here on Lee Pitts Live. Let's get a chance to meet this fabulous band here. Gentlemen, welcome to Lee Pitts Live.
Hey, Lee.
It's good to get you here. Of course, I go back with Dan. Dan, thanks for working with me on this. I know you.
Pleasure.
I know that you are a busy man, and you're a staple in Southwest Florida, and you're traveling all around the country. Hey, Lee, I'm gonna be in Chicago. Can we do it? This? Can we do? Okay, so we finally making this happen here in the fall season. Dan, take a second and just introduce your band to me, if you don't mind, and people in the band. I know it's you and Lew Del Gatto.
Well, on the tenor saxophone, we're joined by Lew Del Gatto, who spent 30 years as a member of the Saturday Night Live band.
Okay, Lew.
And on bass, Mr. Brandon Robertson, who recently received his master's degree from Florida State in jazz studies, and now is currently the assistant professor of jazz studies at Florida Gulf Coast University.
Okay, and of course the incomparable Dan Miller. Lew, instead of Dan bragging on himself, tell us a little bit about Dan.
Oh, Dan grew up in Chicago, and he was in New York, played with Harry Connick Jr. He played for Wynton Marsalis, played for Maynard Ferguson, and even I'll say my memory is bad, but he played for all kinds of people.
Yeah, we couldn't go over your whole resume, Dan, but Dan, hit us on what are you most proud of on your resume?
Well, I spent 11 years with Harry Connick Jr. touring the world, and also Wynton Marsalis and Jazz and Lincoln Center, and Maynard Ferguson and Woody Herman, and even a couple of years with the Tom Jones.
That's really?
Yeah.
Man, you look so young, and even when you were on our show, say maybe 10 years ago, you don't age, Dan. I'm sure everybody tell you that you're the same Dan. And always so gracious and so, about the people, man, getting that real music out there. Speaking of real music, let's go over there to you, Brandon. Brandon, you're like all of you are real musicians, and you guys have a lot of respect for each other. I can tell that. You're classically, is that what we were saying when you got a degree in music, you're classically trained? Is that the term?
Yes, you can use that term. I started off classically trained, and then at the end of high school, I transitioned over to jazz, and then I majored in jazz when I was in college.
Okay, now my understanding from dealing with musicians over the years is that you guys who play these upright bass, you guys are in high demand. You're rare. It's hard to find you. A lot of kids don't play that early on because it's a big instrument to carry around. Go ahead and elaborate on that. You can't get that into a taxi cab though, right?
I have fit this car in a Prius and in a Fiat. I've put it in some of the smallest places, but yes, the bass is a very demanding instrument. It does take discipline. It takes a lot of practice and just self-assurance that you can do it, you know. And so I started playing when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And from there, I continued to.
Now, if you're 10 years old, would your stand-up bass be that size, or they make them smaller for the different age groups?
This actually was the size bass I played on when I was 10. I was just at the right height to where I could hold it.
Okay.
So my music teacher was like, you're the tallest kid in this class. Would you want to play bass? I said, sure. And then I was the only one that was good at it. So
okay, why don't you give us a little extemporaneous music there, if you please?
Sure. Play this.
Excellent. Now tell us about your practice time. How much time you spend practicing, or now you've gotten to the point where it's second nature?
When I first started, it was because I had the time to. I would put in about 4 to 6 hours of practicing, and then as I got older, I realized that my time was becoming very minimalized. So I had to figure out what to practice in the little time that I had. So it went from elongated practicing to just like efficient practicing. So now it's second nature. Now I just.
We're glad to have you in the community.
Thank you.
Lew,
Yes.
when somebody is classically trained or formally trained, I know you guys read music and all that, that makes that transition easy. You guys kind of can come together like a basketball team, just music, you hover around music. If you know music, you can just go, right?
Absolutely, but we've all been classically trained.
Right.
That's the way you start out, and then you learn jazz later, because improvisation is that's a thing you gotta really work at. It's not everybody can do it. Most classical players don't do it, or can't
Really?
do it. Yeah, well, people are afraid to get off the paper. You know, it's written in front of them, they're secure, but if there's nothing written in front of them, there's like, what do I do, you know?
I see.
But, you know, we've all done it from a young age. I did it before I knew what I was doing, and I'm sure Dan did too. And we just, because you hear it and you try to emulate it, you know, and it's a terrific thing.
What are we looking like in Southwest Florida, Lew, as far as real jazz like what you guys play? We have enough of it here?
Well, there's never enough as far as I'm concerned, but we do have our gig at the Ballroom, and Dan and I do the series at Artist Naples, which is once a month for season. We're starting we started in October and November and through, and we bring people in from New York and LA, wherever, just name jazz artists, and we've had in the past we've had Benny Golson, and we've had Jimmy Heath and Randy Brecker and Tom Harrell, and all these great jazz musicians, and they all love to come down and play with us because it's a great band and we have a really great time, and it's a wonderful venue.
And we have your website appearing on the screen throughout this interview. People see it. I want you to call that website out loud too. What's that website, Dan?
It's danmillerjazz.com.
And when people go there, they can find out your whole schedule and where to go out and see you, right?
If they go to the news page, there's a complete calendar for all the events for the year, as well as links to information about those particular gigs.
Okay. Now, Lew, back in my dating days, if I was taking a lovely mating out, and I needed you there at the restaurant to set the tempo. I mean, I spent my money, American Express, it works. What you gonna play for me,
here
bro?
we go.
You're the sax man.
This is the tenor saxophone classic that Ben Lipston made famous. So the title won't come to me. Dan, help me out. I'll just play it.
There you go. compliments of Lew?
That's
Job,
body
Lew.
and soul. That's
Okay, excellent. Hey, Lew, what are some responses your band gets when you're out and about in the public and they hear your music?
Well, people love us. I mean, we at the bar room, we get them going. They're jumping up and down up there, up in that joint, you know, and it's really fun to see people really enjoying it, and same people come back again and again.
Yeah.
You know, because
And that's on Thursdays.
That's on Thursday nights. Yes.
Okay. Now, Dan, you don't know this, but a lot of my friends have come out and seen you guys play, and then they come to me, Lee, you got to go over here and see this band, right? And then so I said, look. Next time y'all go in there, tell Dan Lee Pitts said hello. Say hello.
And
so
they
then
do.
Right. And then Dan, you told them you knew me personally. That made me seem big time. I'm like, y'all up there talking about y'all. So I know Dan personally, man.
Yeah.
So Dan, every time they come in there, man, make me seem big time. Now I will be coming in there and sitting in. Of course, I used to see you in different venues. Jazz. Now, Louis alluded to this, and I think Brandon said a bit about it, but it's a lot of improvisation going on, but you guys know certain places to come in and come out. It's not just like everybody just doing their thing, right?
Well, it's based on a repertoire, you know, the blues and the tunes of the great writers, Gershwin, Jerome Kern, as well as Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker, Horace Silver, Benny Golson. So even though we don't quote unquote rehearse together a lot of times, when you get together in a jam session environment, or say a lot of times when we go to Japan, we don't speak Japanese and they don't speak English, but we both know the music of Duke Ellington, and we're able to get up on the bandstand and share the music. And it's really a repertoire-based music where we learn by ear, where in classical music, many times you're working out of etude books and learning things. But in jazz, we learn by ear. We learn the melodies and the solos off of those original recordings, and then we're able to play that music together.
Speaking of playing, give us a little something there.
Little Blue Moon there.
That's Blue Moon. Okay, now that thing, I see that on the front of these trumpets. What is that?
It's called a cup mute.
Okay.
And there's a lot of different types of mutes. It's a fiber mute that was popularized by the great Dizzy Gillespie and Fats Navarro and Buck Clayton. And what it allows you to do is changes the color, makes it a little darker, allows you to play with intensity without having the open horn be so loud and dominant, especially when we're playing in a smaller supper club or a nightclub. And Miles Davis was a master of the mutes, and he used to use a metal one all the time called a Harmon mute.
I see. Now, you guys have diehard fans. They come out every Thursday or wherever they can to catch you. I know I'm diehard too, and you're going to start seeing me in your new venue where you are now. But I want you to show some appreciation to your fans. What do you have to say out there to them? They're looking at you on television.
Well, we have a tremendous group of people that love true acoustic jazz music in the tradition of Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie and Horace Silver and Art Blakey. And they have a hunger and a thirst to hear this music, and we love to play it. So it's a relationship that when we play at a place, and what makes the Barrel Room unique is that the people that own it, Steve and Denise Hollister, are big music fans from Chicago, and they want hard driving music and with no reservations, so we can rip it from the minute we start all night. And people really love to have that, and we appreciate them coming out to support us. And everyone, like Art Blakey used to say, they can clap their hands, pat their feet, and have a ball. You know, they're there to have a good time.
Well, we're going to get a chance to see you guys play live. We got some video of you actually doing your thing. But before we get to that, I mean, when I say live, you're live right here too, but we got you in the club. Brandon, I once heard that if you learn how to play an instrument, you'll always be able to feed yourself. Is that true?
That is very true.
Elaborate.
Well, for me, I have a family. I have a wife and a daughter, and I've supported my family all through music. I've only worked one regular job and I was 16. and after that, I realized I was like, I don't want to do this no more. I want to do music. So I went out. I went to college. I went to Florida State. Got a bachelor's degree and master's degree from there. And I was touring with the jazz trio for 6 years. And now I'm a music professor now at a major university down here. So I've done nothing but music. So it's dedication.
And you're still young.
Yes,
and you're
sir.
feeding yourself.
Yes,
Lou,
sir.
you got a little gray in your beard there. You still feeding yourself off of that
Absolutely.
saxophone?
I've been a professional musician for over 60 years. So
Wow.
I've made my living from that. When I was a kid, I had other jobs. And once I started working as a musician, I never looked back.
Anything significant about that New York Yankees guy?
I love the Yankees.
Okay.
You know,
So you get everything in. Same thing echoed here, Dan. Fed yourself off of that trumpet.
Yep, I started, my first professional gig was with Woody Herman when I was 19 years old, and then I went right on to Harry Connick Jr.'s band for 11 years, and it enabled me to move to New York, where I lived for many, many years and toured and recorded with all kinds of people.
Right off this baby.
Right off of
That
this
is an
baby, all
amazing
thanks to
story.
that.
Kids, I hope you're paying attention. I didn't learn to play an instrument, so I played the mouth. Dan set it up. We're getting ready to see you guys in the club. What are we going to look at?
This is a video that was shot by the great tenor saxophonist Gerald Augustin of us playing with this group and our drummer Tony Vigilante at the Barrel Room, which is in downtown Fort Myers, and we're there every Thursday from 7 to 10.
Okay, let's take a look, and we'll see you right after this. We'll see you next week on Lew Pitts Live.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.